Hello, everyone, and good morning. Thank you for joining me on Inspiration Morning Live. I am Christina Crowley, and I'm joined by Millie, who is at my feet. She is my trusty, loving golden retriever, and who's always begging for a walk at this time in the morning. All right, I want to say thank you for joining me, and I really do appreciate you being here. And if you're joining me live, thank you so much. I really appreciate you, and I appreciate the hearts. I appreciate the thumbs up, and I really appreciate the shares. They allow Facebook to see those kinds of things, and it gets shown to more of the people in our Inspiration Morning community. So feel free to give me the thumbs up, the hearts. I love them. It feels good too. I have to say that it feels really nice to get those. And if you are watching me on the replay, thank you so much. The replay is where I get a lot of views, and that feels awesome too. I'm glad that you're able to watch it because I know our schedules don't always mesh. And, for that, I am extremely grateful. I am going to share this in my personal page. I haven't been scheduling these lately. My own schedule has been a little in flux lately. I've been, for lack of a better word, my schedule, I normally do these early in the morning so that I do have time to do things in the morning. I like getting up early. I'm not always the best morning person, but I do like being up early. And but I want to talk today about You're Never Too Old. Because I think a lot of people think they're too old. And I just kind of think it's a bit of a fallacy. There are some things that I know I'm not too old for. I'm just not. I don't want to do sports where I fall down a lot. I have my injuries, but there are certain things that you're just never too old to do. You're never too old to start a business. You're never too old to express who you are. You're never too old to do many things. And I know one of the really interesting conversations I had with my father, who was 41 years older than me. So, I was in my late 20s. Hello, good morning. Thank you for joining me. I'm so glad that you're here. I appreciate you being here. Give me some thumbs up. Give me some hearts. I really do appreciate those. And I remember one of the conversations I had with my father, and he was in his 70s, and when we had this conversation, and he did say to me that, there were certain things he wished he had started earlier. The gist of the conversation is he knew he wasn't too old. He should have done these things. Now, I was in my 30s, and so I thought I had all the time in the world, and now I'm in my 50s. And, yes, in a way it's true. You do have all the time you want for certain things. But life is short. Life is incredibly short. And if there's something you want to do, like if you want to be a writer, start writing. There's some things that you can have 10 minutes a day to do. I remember there was a post by a friend of mine who she's an Amazon seller. She's a wildly successful Amazon seller. And she had a post from another person who's an Amazon seller who they were at a conference together, and they sat down with somebody and they got the typical response. Yeah, I'd like to do that, but I don't have the time. And so he was ready for it. He had the response for it. He said, if you sit, to do like an online business, this could just adjust the specifics to anything. He said, if you sit down once a day for 10 minutes, and eventually you'll be writing hundreds of words. And those hundreds of words will turn into thousands of words, which you can use as blog posts, which you can use on your website. If you sit down for this long, you can do this. Basically, it's said that when you start doing something little bit by little bit, it's an incremental effect that is positive, that you really can do something. You need to find the time here and there to do what you want to do. And I find that that's incredibly true. And I read that and I was like, yeah, I have a few of those excuses in my life. I do. I have a few of those excuses in my life. Me, the multi-passionate woman who wants to do everything. And since then, I've realized that I need to pick things. I need to pick what it is that I want to do. I need to make choices that support what I want to do, what I say I want to do. Because I love to learn. I love doing a number of things. I love having an online business. I love doing SEO. I like having I took care of dogs for years to make ends meet. I house sat for years to make ends meet. When I could, I did dog walking. I did a number of things, and I really enjoyed it. But what I really, really, really desired was an online business, was to be creative. And so that's why I started my books. I started expressing myself through my books, and I'm going to be having some more books come out on Amazon. Halloween's a big season, and so I'm gonna jump into that. But that means I do a little bit each day. I do a targeted amount each day, and I do it. It's just kind of like my Inspiration Morning Lives on Facebook. I do them in the morning, and there have been some things this week that have gotten in the way. But it's 7:51, and I am on. I like to go at 7:05. I like to go at 8:05 when I have a meeting that's at 7 in the morning. And so I specifically make those times for that. And I think you're never too old to do what you want to do. You're never too old to start a business. You're never too old to start writing. You're never too old to start painting. Grandma Moses started, I think, in her 70s or her 80s when she first started painting. And she's a prolific painter. She's a part of Americana. Her paintings are beautiful. She had the talent, but she started. So the next time you give yourself the reason that you're not going to start is that you're too old. I'm too old to do that. Are you really? Are you? Are you too old to go down that slide? Are you too old to go play on the slip and slide with your kids? Now, I wouldn't be doing that because I don't want to fall on my butt because I've had several spine surgeries. But think about, what is your reason for saying no? I'm too old for. What is that particular reason that you're saying that? Is it resistance? Is it you're afraid of looking like a fool? Is it afraid of you being embarrassing yourself? I understand those. I truly understand those. I embarrass myself on a daily basis, even if there's nobody around. If there was somebody around, I know that I'd be embarrassed. But it's not fatal. It's not fatal to be embarrassed, to have a little bit of embarrassment. But it's kind of good for your humility. And it's good if you can laugh with people about yourself rather than having them laugh at you, because, when you're using the excuse, for lack of a better word, of I'm too old, what are you worried about? What is it? What are you holding back on to do what you want to do because you think you have to be a certain age and maybe that's younger? Or maybe you think you have to be older. Maybe you're in your 20s and you think, I'm not mature enough to write a book. What do I know to teach people? Well, you learn along the way and you do the best you can with what you have and where you are. That's where I am every day. I am not perfect. I'm not a psychologist. There's a lot of things about me that aren't perfect, and I know my family can attest to that. But so don't use I'm too old, or I'm not old enough, or your ageism to stop you. If you want to be something, if you want to do something, then do it. I know a number of people who have gone to nursing school in their late 20s and into their 30s. I'm sure that my sisters who are nurses know people who were even older. Hello, good morning. Thank you for joining me. I've changed careers in my 40s. I changed career in my 30s. I changed careers in my 20s. Some of the times I was pushed to, like when I was in TV. I was laid off, and I decided I did not want to be laid off again. And the jobs in the market weren't here, so I changed. I had to change. I'm never too old to find different kind of work. What are you using age as an excuse for? I know my sisters, they sell caramels at the farmer's market up in Missoula every weekend that the farmer's market's going. And, one of my sisters are retired. The other, she's moving into retirement, I think, next year. They just started that a few years ago. You're never too old to do what you want to do or be what you want. Take that into yourself. Yes, we have to have certain types of jobs to pay the bills. Figure out within your own time, within managing your own time, to put a little block of time away for you. Whether it be to write, whether it be to sew, whether it be to paint, or maybe you just like to do puzzles. I love to do puzzles. And we now have an office where I have a table and I can close the door because my cat can't come and destroy it overnight when I'm upstairs. But I love to do puzzles, and that is something I love to do. It is part of who I am. I love to create coloring books so that people can use them for stress relief. And Halloween is coming, and I'm going to be making more, putting out more. I've started the process of that. I'm going to be doing more, and I'm going to show you when they're ready. So think about that. Hello, good morning. I want to say thank you for joining me. Please feel free to give me some thumbs up. I really do appreciate you being here. And, if you have any comments that you want to put in the comment in the chat box within Facebook, feel free to, whether you're watching me live or on the replay, because I will respond to all of them. I really appreciate anybody who puts in a comment. But, think about it. What do you want to do? And have you ever felt like you're too old to be what you want to be or to do what you want to do? I know I have a number of times. And I just can't do that anymore. I've stopped myself. Sure, there's resistance there. And, I don't want to be a doctor, but I don't feel like, that's something that I would want to start right now in my life. Those 8 or 10 years of schooling and the incredible amount of debt, that is just not, that wouldn't be for me. But for me, it is being creative. It is being an artist. It is being who I want to be and being who I am and not being afraid of somebody not liking it. I do have my online businesses. I love my SEO. And I adore my clients. And so I want to say thank you for joining me today. I really do appreciate that you're here. I want to say, once again, my third day in a row that my heart goes out to those who are in Houston. And if you have the means, if you have even the $5 to spare to give to the Red Cross, I know they have a number of ways that you can give. I know that throughout, Facebook and other things, I know Jamie Foxx has a page where you can give, so that the money goes to the Red Cross, and it does go directly to the Red Cross. I can't imagine what the people in Houston are going through. I watch the news once a day, and I just can't imagine that big of a community, that big of an area having so much flooding. I did learn that my nephew and his family are safe and healthy, and I so am grateful for that. So do what you can do, even if it's just through your prayers for the people of Houston. Hello, good morning. Thank you for joining me. I'm glad that you're here. So if you have something that's holding you back, Millie, stop it. She's kicking the table. If you have something that you're stopping because you think you're too old, why? Feel free to put it in the comments. Do you have something that you're feeling you're too old to do? Millie kittens, stop it. That's my kitty. That's my puppy. Alrighty. So we are going to get ready and go for our walk. And I hope you have a wonderful day. I really do. And I will see you here tomorrow on Inspiration Morning Live. And if you feel this has been helpful, then please feel free to click that share button. I would appreciate that as much as I appreciate your hearts and your thumbs up. Alrighty. Ta-ta for now. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow on my next Facebook Live. Bye-bye.